el ICU, como decimos. It's like the ICU over there in the United States, right?
Yeah, it's nice to you. And I came here to speak after to maybe share my story about the past couple
Vine a
of months.
contar mi historia de lo que ha pasado los últimos 2 meses.
So at the 7th of October, I was actually here in
El 7 de
Hadassah
octubre yo estuve aquí en Hadassah,
on call.
estuve en llamada y aquí.
And was waking up to do the morning rounds about
Estaba
6
despertándome para
a.m.
visitar a los pacientes como hacen los doctores, ¿no?
And I got a call from my senior doctor saying, "Have you heard there is rockets all over?"
Y me llamó el doctor jefe principal que hay cohetes que están llegando por todas partes.
And so my father, he lives in a kibbutz,
Mi
which
papá
is
vive en un kibbutz
500 meters away from
500
Gaza.
metros de Gaza.
Wow.
So I call him and ask. It usually, sometimes it happens when there are rockets, and so
Yes.
I always call my father.
Siempre hay cohetes cerca de la frontera donde fuimos nosotros ayer y llamé a mi padre.
I ask how is he, and
¿Cómo
I
está?
hear gunshots and
Y él escuchó los
bullets,
tiroteos y todo.
and he didn't know what is going on.
Él no sabía lo que estaba pasando.
Left the hospital after my call and started heading home.
Y dejé el hospital después de la llamada y él empezó a irse.
On my way, I had to stop, a couple of times just because of the
Se tuvo que parar varias veces por los
sirens.
cohetes y las sirenas él que iba por su casa.
And, I got into my house.
Llegó a la casa
I
él.
have a wife and 3 young daughters.
Tiene su esposa y 3 niñas pequeñas.
That was running back and forth.
Estaban corriendo para arriba y para abajo.
To the shelter.
Al refugio. Cada casa tiene refugio.
And in the meantime, we have a WhatsApp group. With
Mientras
the
tanto tenemos un
family.
grupo de WhatsApp con la familia. De
And,
WhatsApp.
We try to connect
Y
with my
trataron de
father.
conectarse.
That he wrote to us at some time during the day.
Nos escribió durante el día. Your
that-
father.
Yes, my father. That he saw Hamas terrorists in his backyard,
Que vio a los terroristas jamás en su casa atrás.
and we were trying to reach
Y estábamos
everyone
tratando de alcanzar a todo el mundo.
to try and get him. I was calling everyone
Tratamos de
that I
buscarlo a él.
can. In the meantime,
Mientras tanto.
I got a phone call from the army
Mientras
saying
tanto
that
llegó una llamada del ejército
I need to go.
que necesitaba ir del ejército.
So I found myself packing my bags.
Se empezó empacando la maleta
While
para ir al ejército.
my father is in his house,
Mientras su papá estaba en la casa con terroristas afuera, él está empacando para ir a la guerra.
closed in a room and waiting for someone to get him out.
Entonces estaba encerrado en su rezo para que alguien lo sacara de la casa.
Fortunately, after
Afortunadamente,
long hours,
Después de
took
muchas
about,
horas.
10, 12 hours,
10-12 horas,
he sat at the shelter.
se quedó en el refugio dentro de la casa.
Many of his friends at the kibbutz, including young families,
Muchas de las familias, amigos de él en el kibbutz,
was slaughtered. And,
lo masacraron y todo, en el
and,
kibbutz y todo.
Wow.
and he had a very difficult time, but
Fue un momento difícil.
and I couldn't see him because at the same Saturday at 6 o'clock I was already in my uniform.
A las
and
6 de la
going,
mañana estaba ya en uniforme yendo para allá.
Going out with my regiment, which is the reconnaissance
Con su régimen que es el reconnaissance,
regiment, infantry.
de la infantería.
And couple of weeks in, I found myself. I'm a doctor for this regiment. I'm the head.
Él es
senior
el doctor, el principal de este regimiento de reconocimiento.
And a couple of weeks later,
2 semanas después,
we went
fuimos
into Gaza
a Gaza, entraron a Gaza
to go and actually protect the citizens of Israel.
fueron a proteger los ciudadanos de Israel.
In the time between the 7th of October and until now,
En el tiempo entre
2
7 de
weeks
octubre
ago,
hasta ahorita,
we were both in the first days pushing back the Hamas terrorists back to
Hasta
Gaza,
ahorita estaban empujando los terroristas de Hamas.
and afterwards in there
Y después,
fighting for Israel security and safety,
peleando por la seguridad de Israel.
and going and trying to bring as many of our brothers and
Tratando de
daughters
traer a
and
todos los
everyone
hermanos y
that are-
familiares que pudieran traerlos por
that
acá.
are in Gaza. In the meantime, many of our soldiers and in the combats, I
Muchos
was
de
in
los
charge
soldados en el
of.
combate que yo estaba encargado.
They got injured, and actually there
fueron
was
heridos.
a nice story of one of our soldiers got hit by an anti-tank missile.
Uno de los nuestros se le pegó un de esos misiles antitanque.
And we evacuated him.
Lo
And
evacuaron.
every time that I hear an helicopter,
Cada
I
vez que
have
escuchaba el helicóptero, por eso oíamos el helicóptero ahorita. Cada vez que
always think about what's happened,
él
because
siempre está
when
pensando
you're
qué pasó.
in combat, there, when you see an helicopter, there, there is something wrong.
Cuando está en combate el helicóptero, algo está pasando.
So we we gave this soldier the treatment out in the field, and we
Le
evacuated
dieron el
him for a
tratamiento ahí mismo en el
hospital.
field, ahí mismo.
And a couple of weeks later, it was a
2 semanas
Jewish
después.
Hanukkah holiday.
La celebración de Hanukkah.
And in the meantime, when he was in the hospital, getting a good treatment in Soroka in Beer
Estaban atendiendo al
Sheva,
hospital con buen tratamiento.
he was able to come back and
pudo regresar.
light candles with us.
Pudo prender una vela de Hanukkah. Oh, that's nice. Wow.
And a couple of weeks later, I got discharged after
2
my
semanas
regiment.
después me descargaron a mí, o sea, de allá. O sea, ya pude, ya di mi tiempo allá.
And now back here
Y ahora estoy de regreso aquí en el hospital.
intensive care, and now
En la
I'm
unidad de cuidado
actually,
intensivo.
like Professor Shea says, we have a lot of soldiers coming in.
Tenemos muchos soldados que están llegando ahora.
So I have a privilege to keep and helping our soldiers
Tengo el privilegio de estar
come
ahí, de
here,
continuar ayudando a mis soldados.
here in Hadassah.
In Hadassah.
And, some with very serious injuries that are admitted in
Algunos
ICU.
con heridas muy serias que están en la unidad de cuidado intensivo.
And actually, and here as well, we have very inspiring stories of
Hay muchas historias de inspiración
of young soldiers that come from the battlefield
de jóvenes
in
estudiantes, de
very
soldados jóvenes
bad situations,
que vienen con situación muy mala.
and we give them here in Hadassah all of the support that
Le dan
we can
todo el
give them.
apoyo que necesitan.
Sometimes it's not only medical support, because we had a soldier that lives in Netivot in the south.
Si no solamente apoyo médico, sino también, acuerda que muchos vivían en los kibbutz en el sur, ahí.
Is down in the south, and his family doesn't have anywhere to stay while he's
Su familia no tiene donde
here.
quedarse.
So Hadassah, they were staying in the hotel here in Hadassah
Estaban
that
quedando aquí en hotel.
in day to day is meant for mummies of young babies, for laborers,
Pero
that
si aquí
they
era
stay
para los
here at the
bebés y los que
hotel.
están embarazadas.
So his family stayed here at the hotel, and while he was recovering from his
Mientras se
injury,
recuperaba, su familia se
they
quedó
could
aquí
be
en el
here
hotel.
in Jerusalem
Para que puedan
because
estar aquí
they,
en Jerusalén.
because they couldn't go back to their house.
Porque no podían regresar a su
And
casa.
actually, I met him yesterday at the elevator, saying hello, that he came
Ayer me
here
encontré con él en el elevador.
sedated and intubated and with a lot of
Y él vino
lung
originalmente, estaba
injuries.
sedado, intubado y todo.
And a couple of weeks later,
2 semanas después,
he's walking around the hospital.
Ya está caminando por el hospital y todo.
There is a lot of doctors like me that in Hadassah that went to the army, that was recruited in
Hay
the
muchos
last
doctores
couple
como
of
yo que
years.
fueron al ejército, a la guerra, que fueron reclutados.
And some of the wards even had to deal with half of the personnel going to the army.
Wow.
And
Tenían que bregar con la mitad para todo lo que es la guerra y también aquí también.
but I think it's the story of us as in Israel and the Jewish people that are connected to this
En la historia del
place.
pueblo de Israel, de los judíos, de nosotros, con todo, estamos todos conectados para ayudar.
That we are both doing our lives and continuing our lives, some in the hospital and wherever, but
Pero continuamos nuestra vida donde quiera, pero estamos al servicio ayudándonos a todos.
but in the day that the phone comes, we
Pero cuando llega la
go
llamada
out and
que dice que hay que ir, hay que ir.
we go to keep
fight.
to fight and to keep our families safe.
Para pelear y mantener estas familias seguras.
So
That is really inspiring. Your father's okay?
so my father is okay, yes, and he's
When you
recovering.
saw your father, you hugged him and kissed him. And
So he came to see me before I went into Gaza.
él lo vio antes de que entrara a Gaza, su papá lo vio, lo abrazó y todo. Gracias a Dios.
And that there is, and I think I have one story, but
Yeah,
I
one
think
story.
everyone in Israel, I don't know anyone that doesn't know someone that got some kind of impact from this situation. Someone
Es
was,
mi historia, pero todo el mundo en Israel tiene una historia.
because we are, it's a small country.
Es un país muy pequeño.
And eventually, this is all
Eventualmente,
our story of
Es toda nuestra historia.
living here and
Viviendo aquí.
doing our part in
Nuestra parte.
defending the people and
Defendiendo la gente.
helping
Y ayudando
the injuries and
Las heridas.
being part of this country.
Siendo
So
parte de
I
este
want
país.
to thank you for listening and hearing my story.
Gracias por escucharme y la historia y todo.
And I think that again, this is one story out of many, and I think
Es que es una historia entre tantas historias.
and we have still 136 people that are
Todavía tenemos
women and
136
children and even young babies
mujeres,
that
niños.
are still
están todavía
being kept out there, and we're still myself. I will go in a couple of weeks back to the army,
En 2 semanas otra vez vuelve.
and this is our mission as people, as a society.
Es nuestra misión como gente y como sociedad.
And I want to thank you for coming in and
Gracias por
supporting
venir aquí
us
apoyándonos.
in these difficult times.
En este tiempo difícil.
It's nothing that it's not it's not easy to come to Israel in these times.
No es fácil venir a Israel en este tiempo.
So
Pero
thank you
venimos.
very much. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Doctor, and I want to tell you on behalf of all the people, thank you for being what you are, who you are, because it shows that you love this country, you love your family, and you're willing to die for it. And that means a lot. And you're talking about the 136. The 136 hostages still over there. On Saturday, my wife and I, we were in Nazareth, and we spoke to this Russian lady. And Brian, what you have hanging from your neck,
Yeah,
Brian, you know what that is, right?
of course.
Yes. And she saw it, and she started crying. And I grabbed her hand and said, "It's just that my granddaughter is one of those 136. So it's like you say, everybody here is connected. Everybody has a story. Everybody is feeling the same thing. Vamos a orar para los 136 que vuelvan pronto. Amén. God willing, they're going to be back to 136. Okay,
Amen.
thank you so much. Gracias a Dios.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vamos, gracias al doctor, ¿no?
Thank you.